But this diet allows it so regardless of how much you eat, honestly, regardless of how much you eat, you're probably gonna be burning fat rather than putting on fat. What's going on YouTube, TI Fit fam? Welcome back to the channel. If you are new, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff. This did not hit your algorithm by coincidence, so let's lock in. So the number one question that I get is portion control. How much should I eat? So I'm gonna give my advice based off of my own personal experiences, as well as the experiences from others that I train and I coach and I advise them to do, and their feedback from me. Obviously, I take their feedback because it's just as important as mine. My personal experiences are my personal experiences. Theirs are more unique to the audience that I'm trying to personally reach myself. So with that said, let's get right into it. When you first search on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever social platform that you're getting your advice from, whichever one you go to, they typically say, per sitting, eat a pound. So if it's steak, ground beef, sometimes chicken too as well, eat a pound of it and then go from there. I think that is a good measure of thumb, I guess, for a rule of thumb. I think that is a good measure to start with. But it also depends on a few things. If you're just doing this for the health side of things, yes, that's a great measure, meaning you got issues with your stomach, issues with skin, whatever it may be, whatever issues that led you to this diet, a pound per sitting is perfectly fine. But when I was doing that, a pound per sitting, what I came to realize was for my personal goals, I wasn't eating enough. So I'll rewind to when I started doing the carnivore diet, I would do exactly that. I would start with a pound per sitting. And what would happen is there would be days where I would eat and there would be days that I didn't eat. There would be times where, because I would try to do intermittent fasting. I would try to eat in the morning. I would try to eat in the evening. There was times I just simply wasn't hungry, which is perfectly fine. If I'm not hungry, I'm not eating. That's the whole point of the diet. I think we've got conditioned, especially in America. I don't know where you guys are, but in America, we've got conditioned to eating breakfast, lunch, dinner. And in the fitness world, we got conditioned to eat breakfast, lunch, snack, another dinner. You see what I'm saying? To overly eat to get the gains and the results that you want. Which, with this diet, you don't have to do that. You don't really got to pay attention to how many times you're eating. You just got to make sure you're consuming the proper foods that you're supposed to eat, which is, in this case, steak, beef, chicken, and if you're doing a meat and fruit diet, meat and the proper fruits. Now, if you are someone who likes to do intermittent fasting, pound per sitting doesn't necessarily have to be your answer. You can do 8 ounces here, 8 ounces here, 10 ounces here, 10 ounces here, split it however you got to split it. Me personally, when I first started trying to do intermittent fasting, I had to decrease my portions in the morning because I was okay. After I ate at night, it kind of carried over to the morning, so I was only eating to make sure that I stayed on schedule. Which leads me to the bigger point is, what are your goals? If your goals aren't to just lose weight, because this diet, if you do it right, you will lose weight. That's just the simplest way to put it. Between the carnivore and the meat and fruit diet, it's very simple. You will lose weight if you're doing it properly. I talked about it a few times. I am a fan of being 200 pounds. I like to be able to say, man, I'm 200 pounds. It just is what it is. Call it ego, call it whatever you want to call it. It's just me at this point. I like being 200 pounds. Right now, I have been following this diet consistently, and I am not 200 pounds. Keep that on the low. I don't want everybody to know my business. But with that said, if I want to get closer to that 200 mark, what I have to do is eat bigger portions, especially during intermittent fasting. Now, intermittent fasting helps me prevent myself from snacking throughout the day, and it also helps me control my portion sizes. So I may not be able to eat a pound per sitting, but I can get close to it by intermittent fasting, and it allows my body to adjust to eating and taking in that load of protein. So if your goal is to gain weight and get a little heavier doing this diet, then you may have to do that too. You may have to space your meals out. And if you're doing intermittent fasting, it may be adding 2 bigger portions or spacing out how you would normally eat, maybe doing 3 meals, maybe. All in all, it depends on what your goals are. So if your goals are to simply live a healthier lifestyle, get stronger, feel better, the whole 9 yards that comes with this diet, then a pound per sitting is perfectly fine. But once again, if you're trying to gain weight, build muscle, have a very extremely active lifestyle in a gym, or even your workload, then you may have to consider intermittent fasting or spacing out your food and increasing your portion sizes. I know people in the carnivore, meat and fruit diet world don't like to talk about counting calories. I personally don't think you have to count calories doing this diet, but once again, that goes back to what your goals are. If your goals are to gain weight, get stronger, blah, 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 you have to count, you have to pay attention to what you're consuming, because calories in, calories out is an actual thing, but this diet allows it so regardless of how much you eat, honestly, regardless of how much you eat, you're probably gonna be burning fat rather than putting on fat and putting on muscle rather than just gaining pointless weight, especially if you have an active lifestyle in the gym. And if you are one that's following the meat and fruit diet, I would just do a 80-20 rule. I know you heard of the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule is typically 80% eat healthy and then 20% do what you want to do. Have that rule when it comes down to meat and fruit. 80% protein, the steaks, you know what, and then 20% fruit. Try to keep it minimized, like a side or just a dish to help balance you out. Ultimately, when it comes down to portion control, it's kind of figured out as you go. It really is, because no one is the same. No one person is the same. Yes, you can find people with similar body styles as yourself, similar genetics as yourself, and go based off of what they did and kind of figure it out from there, which I would recommend anyway. But you have to just try it, indulge, and go from there. See what makes you feel better, especially when it comes to working out times and things of that nature. What fits your lifestyle the best when it comes down to sticking to this diet and regimen? It's really, I call it a diet, but in reality, it's a lifestyle change. Don't just do it with the mindset of, I'm only gonna do it for this amount of time. Yeah, that's fine getting started, but at the end of the day, you should be trying to find things that help you go, okay, I don't gotta plan for no trip and work out lighter. I should be able to walk around every single day looking the way I wanna look, regardless of the calendar. So if you are one that is considering doing this diet or already started this diet and trying to stick it out and you feel like you're struggling, I want you to keep in mind that a few things will happen doing this diet. One, the bathroom. You're either gonna be one or two things. You're either gonna be in the bathroom all the time in the beginning, or you ain't gonna be in there at all. It's gonna scare you a little bit for either way. With that said, it's a part of the process. It's a part of the process. Don't be afraid, don't be worried. I made another video talking about what you could do with that, but once again, you can find plenty of videos on YouTube that talk about either case. If you're on the running to the bathroom side, or if you're stuck and trying to find out why you're not using the bathroom, you can find plenty of information on YouTube talking about that. Second thing that's gonna happen is you're gonna feel exhausted. With any diet, with any new regimen that you're trying, it's just simple, it comes with the territory. You're gonna feel exhausted, you're gonna feel drained, and it's for one reason, because you're completely switching what you're used to. If someone goes all their life eating junk food and then one day eat healthy, guess what happens? Detox. It feels crazy. Your stomach hurts. When you go back to eating the junk food that you used to eat, you feel normal again. This is the same thing that happens with the carnivore diet or any other healthy diet that you come across. You eat healthy or eat the right foods for 5, 6, 10 days out the week, and then one day decide to go eat whatever's under the sun. You know what I'm saying? And that your stomach is tore up, is hurting, is all of that. But guess what? As soon as you go to eating back normal again, you feel perfectly fine. That's the side we're trying to get to. The eating healthy. When you do a cheat day, the cheat day works as a detox and you're back to eating healthy again. That's the goal. Another thing you might have to worry about if you have an active lifestyle, especially on a carnivore diet, is dealing with cramps. There's plenty of videos out there on what you should do if you dealing with cramps, especially on the carnivore diet. But that's one of the major reasons why I stick to the meat and fruit diet, because I don't see anything wrong with fruit, me personally. Yeah, people find and knock it all they want. It's okay. It's all right. But to each his own. But dealing with cramps is a major thing that you will deal with if you have an active lifestyle, which everyone should have an active lifestyle. And if you are someone who does not have an active lifestyle because you simply don't know what to do when you go to the gym, you look lost, you look confused and out of place, we do have an online program that you can follow. We use something called the Total Resistance, a one-size-fits-all harness that allows you to add resistance to all your training, all your movements. It can completely replace a gym, and you can get in shape wherever you are, no matter what time it is. The last thing that will happen, which I hope you get to if you stick it out, is you'll feel a boost of energy. When I first started doing the diet, I was drained, I was exhausted, so I started it on a Monday, if I'm not mistaken. Come Monday, Tuesday, I was feeling exhausted, feeling drained. Wednesday, by Thursday, on a normal diet, on whatever diet I was doing before, on a more balanced diet, that's when I would feel like just buried. This was Thursday. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the training here at the gym. Gym I go to, it's all class-based, and we push. Thursdays, I'm usually burnt out, but I still come, so I don't get fined. But with that said, when I was working out, I was mentally preparing to tap out because that's what normally happens on Thursday. I had an extreme boost of energy out of nowhere, and it was like, man, I'm literally mentally preparing for that exhaustion moment, that tired moment, that fight through moment, and it just never came. And I was like able to push. I was able to push harder, and I was working harder than I would typically work. And that honestly, that's what made me the biggest fan of this diet, is my day-to-day. My expectations were overly exceeded, which is the best part about this diet. All right, I hope this video was helpful. Between the carnivore diet and the meat and fruit diet, it is the officially unofficial diet for TR Fit. And we will be doing small groups to help people stay on track, stay consistent, and see all their results all the way through. I'll leave a link below. If you want to join it, you do not have to physically be here. We do everything online. One of the biggest issues with people isn't the fact that they don't want to do it or they don't desire to do it. It's the accountability side of that, and we provide that. Be a group of people that are all like-minded, and once again, we all getting results. So don't miss out. Be a part of it. Click the link below. I'll leave a link. If the link isn't active, it will be eventually. Don't worry about it. Other than that, do the YouTube stuff. Like, share, subscribe. You get it. Been here long enough. See you next time.